the early afternoon of July 23rd, we all met at the Les Invalides, a complex of buildings containing museums and monuments, all relating to the military history of France, as well as a church that contains Napoleon's tomb. The complex known as the National Residence of the Invalides was founded in 1671 by Louis XIV, the Sun King. He wanted to provide accommodation for disabled and impoverished war veterans. Originally, only a number of barracks were planned, but King Louis XIV chose a design which consisted of a large, impressive building with a royal courtyard and church. The National Residence of the Invalides is one of the most prestigious monuments in Paris, and the most significant event in its history is unquestionably the return of the body of Napoleon in 1840 from St. Helena. The north entrance leads to the Court of Honor, one of the 15 courtyards in the complex. The facade of the gate is richly decorated and bears the Sun King symbol over the equestrian bas-relief figure of Louis XIV. The Court of Honor continues to be used as a setting for military parades, as well as ceremonies for awards and condecorations and for concerts. The large statue of Napoleon, created in 1833, stands on the upper floor in a large arcade, looking out across the courtyard. Beautiful bas-relief figures adorning the impressive gable. The building was completed in 1676 and housed up to 4,000 war veterans. On the lower portion of this gable, one can appreciate one of the 3 sundials adorning the courtyard. The Court of Honor offers views of the roof line of the Grand Palace on the left and of the wide 500 meters long esplanade that separates the National Residence for the Invalides from the 19th century bridge and the Seine River. Louis XIV wished to have a chapel where he and his soldiers could attend the same Mass, but of course the soldiers could not use the same entrance as the king. This problem was solved by constructing a dual complex building, the Church of St. Louis, or the Soldiers' Church, and the Church of the Dome, the Royal Church. Modeled after St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, the construction of the dome began in 1706 and was completed in 1708. The height of the dome is 107 meters. It was re-gilded in 1989 using 12.65 kilograms of gold. The church is a fine example of 17th century religious architecture in Paris. Today, Napoleon Bonaparte is entombed in the Church of the Dome, as well as some of his family and other famous men of war. Starting in 1676 on request of the Sun King's war minister, the Church of St. Louis was added as an annex to the complex. The church, then known as the Pensioners' Choir, but later referred to as the Soldiers' Church, was opened for the soldiers in 1679. They were required to attend the daily Mass here. In 1837, the chapel area of the Church of St. Louis was separated from the dome area by a large glass wall. The magnificent organ case is the only representative of the Louis XIV era. The instrument was built in 1687. Entering the Church of the Dome. Plans to bury the remains of the royal family here were set aside after the death of King Louis XIV. And in 1840, King Louis Philippe repatriated the remains of the Emperor Napoleon from St. Helena to have them entombed here. In 1842, the church's high altar had to be redesigned in order to accommodate Napoleon's tomb. The dome's ceiling is decorated by frescoes representing St. Louis and Christ. Visitors enter the crypt via a staircase. This leads to a heavy bronze door forged from cannons taken at the Austerlitz, flanked by two statues. Above the lintel is the following inscription, an extract from Napoleon's will. I wish my ashes to rest on the banks of the Seine, among the people of France, whom I so much loved. The sarcophagus was put on a green granite pedestal and contains a nest of 6 coffins, one made of soft iron, another of mahogany, 2 others of lead, one of ebony, and finally the last one of oak. On the floor, a polychrome mosaic illustrates the main battles of the empire, while 12 huge victory statues are mounted up against the pillars of the crypt. Halfway along the gallery there is a vault containing the coffin of the King of Rome, transferred there in 1940 and placed under a marble slab in the crypt in 1969. Over the tomb stands a statue representing Napoleon II as a Roman emperor. Inside the church, 2 side chapels contain the tombs of Jerome and Joseph Bonaparte, Napoleon's brothers. The domed church now also houses the tombs of several other military leaders. Often called simply Turenne, he achieved military fame and became a Marshal of France. He was one of 6 marshals who have been made Marshal General of France. commonly referred to as Vauban, he was a Marshal of France and the foremost military engineer of his age. He advised Louis XIV on how to consolidate France's borders to make them more defensible. He was dubbed the Maker of Morocco and the French Empire Builder, and in 1931 made the cover of Time. In 1918, he accepted the German request for an armistice. After the Treaty of Versailles, because Germany was allowed to remain a united country, he declared, "This is not a peace. It is an armistice for 20 years. His words proved prophetic. The Second World War started 20 years and 65 days later.